Did you know one of Elvis Presley's biggest hits was inspired by a real-life suicide note found in a newspaper? Or that another smash was written in just 2 hours after a Coca-Cola bottle incident? And get this, one of his most famous rock anthems was actually first recorded by a blues singer, and his version initially caused a huge stir. Plus, a beloved ballad wasn't even intended for him originally, but he overheard it and claimed it on the spot. Even crazier, one chart topper was recorded with an echo effect achieved by setting up a speaker and microphone in a long hallway outside the main studio. Number 11. Burning Love. Okay, let's kick things off with a real scorcher. Released in 1972, Burning Love wasn't written by Elvis, but boy, did he make it his own. The song was penned by Dennis Linde, a joker from Nashville. Fun fact, Linde also wrote the massive 90s country hit Goodbye Earl for the Chicks, formerly Dixie Chicks. Talk about range. Elvis recorded Burning Love in March 1972 at RCA's Hollywood Studios. It was during a period when some felt his music had become a bit too focused on ballads and elaborate productions. This track was a return to straightforward rock and roll energy, something fans were craving. The driving piano, the powerful horns, and Elvis's full-throttle vocals just exploded out of the speakers. The song tells a simple, fiery story, falling intensely in love. Lyrics like Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising, and I'm just a hunk of burning love are delivered with such conviction you can practically feel the heat. It's pure, unadulterated rock joy. When it hit the airwaves, Burning Love was a massive success. It shot up the charts, reaching #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. This was HUGE. It became his 40th and final top 10 hit in the United States during his lifetime. Think about that. FORTY top 10 hits. Insane. It also did well internationally, hitting #1 in several countries. Many saw it as a significant comeback to the rock genre for Elvis. His live performances of the song during this era were legendary. Picture this, Elvis, often in one of his iconic jumpsuits, belting out that chorus, dripping with charisma, the band rocking behind him. The energy was electric. You can see clips of this in his famous Aloha from Hawaii via satellite concert, broadcast in 1973, watched by an estimated billion people worldwide, a billion. The recording itself features some killer musicianship. Emery Gordy Jr. laid down that unforgettable, propulsive bassline. Ronnie Tutt's drumming is tight and powerful, and Elvis, his voice sounds fantastic, strong, clear, and full of that rock and roll spirit. It wasn't just a hit. It was a statement. It showed Elvis still had that raw energy that made him a star in the first place. It became an instant classic and remains one of his most recognized and beloved rockers, a staple on classic rock radio and pleat lanes everywhere. People just couldn't get enough of that hunk of burning love. Number 10. Viva Las Vegas. All right, pack your bags. We're heading to Vegas, baby. This tune is practically the official theme song for Sin City, isn't it? Released in 1964, Viva Las Vegas was the title track for the Elvis movie of the same name, co-starring the fiery Anne Margaret. The chemistry between Elvis and Anne Margaret in the film was off the charts, and this song perfectly captures that high, rolling bright lights energy. The song was written by the songwriting duo Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann. These guys were hit machines. They also wrote classics like Save the Last Dance for Me, This Magic Moment, and another Elvis hit, Marie's the Name, his latest flame. Pomus himself had a fascinating life story. Paralyzed by polio as a child, he became one of the most successful songwriters of his era. Viva Las Vegas paints a picture of the ultimate Vegas experience. Bright light city gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn? So get those stakes up higher. It talks about blackjack, poker, roulette, fortune, and fame. Everything that makes Vegas, well, Vegas. It's an ode to excitement, risk, and living life in the fast lane. The recording session took place in July 1963 at Radio Rexorders in Hollywood. The track features a driving beat, twang guitars, hello, Scotty Moore, and Elvis's energetic vocals. It's pure fun, designed to make you want to jump up and dance, or maybe hit the casino floor. The band sounds like they're having a blast playing it. Interestingly, despite being one of Elvis's most famous and enduring songs today, it wasn't actually one of his biggest chart hits back then. It was released as the B-side to What I Say, a cover of the Ray Charles hit, in the U.S. While What I Say reached the top 30, Viva Las Vegas only bubbled under, peaking at pound 29 on the Billboard Hot 100. In the UK, it did a bit better, reaching pound 17. Kinda crazy, right? Something so iconic wasn't initially a chart monster. But charts aren't everything. The song's association with the movie, which was a big success, helped cement its place in pop culture. And over time, its reputation just grew and grew. Its sheer energy and perfect encapsulation of the Las Vegas mystique made it timeless. Today you can't escape Viva Las Vegas in Las Vegas. It's played everywhere. Casinos, shows, commercials. Countless artists have covered it. It's been used in tons of movies and TV shows whenever a scene needs that instant Vegas vibe. It's more than just a song. It's a cultural shorthand for excitement, glamour, and maybe just a little bit of recklessness. Turn it up and let the good times roll. Number 9. Return to sender. Address unknown. No such number. No such zone. You know the one. Return to Sender, released in 1962, is another gem tied to an Elvis movie, this time, Girls, Girls, Girls. It's got that catchy, slightly novelty feel, but with Elvis's smooth delivery, it becomes effortlessly cool. This hit was another product of the dynamic duo, Otis Blackwell and Winfield Scott. Otis Blackwell is a legend in his own right. He wrote Don't Be Cruel and All Shook Up for Elvis, plus massive hits like Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Fever, Peggy Lee. Talk about a track record. The story goes that Blackwell often wrote songs specifically tailored to Elvis's style and persona. The song tells a simple story. A guy keeps sending letters to his girlfriend, but they keep coming back, stamped, return to sender, with various reasons why they couldn't be delivered. He suspects she's orchestrating the whole thing because she's breaking up with him. It's a relatable tale of relationship troubles, but wrapped in a really upbeat, catchy package. That saxophone riff, instantly recognizable. Played by Boots Randolph, a Nashville session legend, it adds so much personality to the track. Recorded in March 1962 at Radio Resorters in Hollywood, the song has a light swinging rhythm that's infectious. Elvis sounds relaxed and playful on the track. It wasn't heavy rock and roll. It was more pop-oriented, fitting the vibe of his movies during that period. But his charisma still shines through. Unlike Viva Las Vegas, Return to Sender was a massive chart success right out of the gate. It flew up the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at #2 in the US. It was kept from the top spot by the Four Seasons. Big Girls Don't Cry. Imagine that showdown. Overseas, it was even bigger, hitting #1 on the UK Insoles chart and topping charts in several other countries. It became one of Elvis's biggest international hits of the 1960s. The song's popularity was boosted by its inclusion in the movie Girls, Girls, Girls. The scene where Elvis performs the song on a boat is a classic piece of 60s pop culture. Dressed in casual clothes, surrounded by dancing girls, he delivers the song with charm and ease, even though it came from a movie soundtrack, which sometimes critics dismissed Return to Sender has endured. Its clever lyrics, unforgettable melody, and that killer sax hook make it stand out. It showcased a lighter, more pop-friendly side of Elvis, proving he could score massive hits outside of pure rock and roll or soulful ballads. It remains a fan favorite and a reminder of Elvis's incredible chart dominance throughout different phases of his career. You just can't help but sing along. Number 8. Can't Help Falling in Love. Okay, grab the tissues, because this one is pure romance. Can't Help Falling in Love, released in 1961, is arguably one of the most iconic love songs of all time. Its gentle melody and heartfelt lyrics have made it a staple at weddings, anniversaries, and slow dances for generations. The melody is actually based on a much older French love song called Plaisir d'amour, composed in 1784 by Jean-Paul Martini. Wow! Talk about history! The English lyrics and new musical arrangement were crafted by Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creator, and George David Weiss. These guys were part of the team running RCA Records' pop division and worked closely with Elvis. Elvis recorded the song in March 1961 at Radio Resorters for the soundtrack of his movie Blue Hawaii. This film was a colossal success, and its soundtrack spent an incredible 20 weeks at #1 on the Billboard album charts. Can't Help Falling in Love was the Steinway ballad from the film. The story goes that when the songwriters first played the demo for Elvis, it was intended as more of an upbeat number. But Elvis instinctively slowed it down, giving it that intimate, tender feeling we know today. He reportedly said something like, "This is the one I want," and shaped it into the masterpiece it became. Good ear, King. The lyrics are simple but profound. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. It speaks to that irresistible pull of love, the feeling that it's destined and inevitable. Elvis's vocal performance is incredibly tender and sincere. He doesn't belt it out, he croons it softly, drawing the listener in. The gentle acoustic guitar, the subtle backing vocals provided by the legendary Jordanaires, and the light percussion create a dreamy, romantic atmosphere. Released as a single with the Rockin' Rock, Ashula Baby. As the A-side in some markets, believe it or not, Can't Help Falling in Love became a huge hit. It reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US and soared to #1 in the UK, staying there for 4 weeks. Its success further cemented Elvis's status as a global superstar who could conquer both rock and roll and sentimental ballads. Through the years, this song became a signature tune for Elvis, especially in his live shows. He often closed his concerts with it during the 1970s. Imagine the lights dimming, Elvis stepping forward, maybe handing out scarves, and singing this beautiful melody. It was a moment of connection with his audience, a tender farewell after an energetic show. You can see powerful performances of it in documentaries, like Elvis, That's the Way It Is, 1970, and the Aloha from Hawaii special, 1973. Countless artists have covered Can't Help Falling in Love from UB40, who had a massive #1 hit with their reggae version in 1993, to Andrea Bocelli, to 21 Pilots. But for many, Elvis's original recording remains the definitive version. Its timeless message and his soulful delivery ensure it will continue to make hearts melt for generations to come. It's just pure, beautiful music. Number 7. Jailhouse Rock. Alright, let's break out of the slow dance and get ready to rock the cell block. Jailhouse Rock, released in 1957, is pure, rebellious, high-energy Elvis. It's the title track from his third movie, and both the song and the film sequence are absolutely iconic moments in rock and roll history. This explosive track was written by the legendary songwriting team Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller. These guys were geniuses who penned numerous hits for Elvis, including Hound Dog, Loving You, and King Creole, as well as classics for the Coasters, Yakety Yak, Charlie Brown, and Benny King, Stand By My. Leiber and Stoller were known for their witty lyrics and their ability to blend rhythm and blues with rock and roll. The story behind writing Jailhouse Rock is pretty wild. According to Stoller, they were basically put under friendly house arrest by their publisher to force them to write songs for the upcoming Elvis movie. They banged out several tunes in a matter of hours, including this monster hit. The lyrics paint a vivid picture of a wild party happening inside a prison. The warden threw a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, and they began to wail. It name-drops fictional characters like Shifty Henry, Sad Sack, and the Bugsy Gang, all joining in the rockin' festivities. It's playful, slightly dangerous, and incredibly catchy. Elvis recorded Jailhouse Rock in April 1957 at Radio Resorters in Hollywood. The session was reportedly intense. Leiber and Stoller were present and very hands-on, which was unusual for Elvis's sessions at the time. They pushed Elvis and the band Scotty Moore, guitar, Bill Black bass, DJ Fontana drums, and Dudley Brooks piano, to capture a raw, aggressive sound. Listen to that driving beat, the sharp guitar riff, and Elvis's sneering, energetic vocal delivery. It's raw power. There's even a moment with a distinct percussion sound, like claves or woodblocks, adding to the unique texture. The song was an instant smash. It shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US and stayed there for 7 weeks. It also hit #1 on the country and R&B charts, a triple crown achievement that showcased Elvis's universal appeal. In the UK, it debuted at #1, something that was extremely rare at the time. It was a global phenomenon, but perhaps even more iconic than the song itself is the performance sequence in the movie. Choreographed by Alex Romero, though Elvis himself reportedly improvised many of his moves, the Jailhouse Rock dance number is legendary. Elvis, dressed in a stylized prison uniform, black jacket, striped shirt, black pants, leads a group of male dancers through a dynamic, athletic, and highly suggestive routine on a multi-level cell block set. His swiveling hips, leg shakes, and slides were electrifying and controversial. It's considered one of the first true music videos and set a standard for performance on film. Many artists, from Michael Jackson to Britney Spears, have cited it as an inspiration. Jailhouse Rock perfectly captured the rebellious spirit of early rock and roll. It was loud, energetic, and a little bit dangerous, everything parents feared and teenagers loved. It remains one of Elvis's most defining songs, a pure blast of rock and roll energy that still sounds explosive today. Turn it up loud. Number 6. All Shook Up. Feeling itchy, can't scratch, must be love. All Shook Up, released in 1957, is another absolute classic from Elvis's early explosive period. It's got an infectious beat, playful lyrics, and that signature Elvis vocal hiccup that drives crowds wild. This smash hit is credited to Elvis Presley and Otis Blackwell. We mentioned Blackwell earlier. Don't Be Cruel, Return to Sender. The story behind this song's creation is part of rock and roll folklore. One version claims Blackwell wrote it after his publisher, Al Stanton of Shalimar Music, shook a bottle of Pepsi and suggested he write a song based on the phrase, "all shook up." Blackwell reportedly went away and penned the hit in just a couple of days. Another story, often told by Elvis himself, suggests Elvis came up with the title phrase after waking up from a bad dream, or possibly after shaking a bottle of pop himself, and called Blackwell with the idea. Whatever the exact origin, the collaboration resulted in pure magic. The lyrics describe the physical symptoms of being head over heels in love. My hands are shaky and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. My tongue gets tied when I try to speak. My insides shake like a leaf on a tree. It's relatable, slightly goofy, and utterly charming. The phrase "all shook up" perfectly captures that feeling of being overwhelmed by new love or infatuation. Elvis recorded All Shook Up in January 1957 at Radio Resorters in Hollywood. The band included Scotty Moore on guitar, Bill Black on bass, DJ Fontana on drums, and the Jordanaires on backing vocals. There's a distinctive tapping sound throughout the track. Legend has it that Elvis himself provided this percussion by slapping the back of his acoustic guitar. Listen closely. The rhythm is insistent and makes you want to tap your feet immediately. Elvis's vocal performance is full of energy and personality, complete with those little yelps and stutters that became his trademark. Released in March 1957, All Shook Up was an absolute monster hit. It rocketed to #1 on all 3 major Billboard charts: the top 100, country, and R&B. It stayed at the top of the top 100 for a staggering 8 weeks. EIGHTWEEKS. It was the best-selling single in the United States for the entire year of 1957. It also hit #1 in the UK and numerous other countries around the world. This song cemented Elvis's position as the undisputed king of rock and roll. His television performances of All Shook Up further fueled the frenzy. Seeing Elvis perform it live with his energy and dance moves sent audiences into hysterics. It perfectly embodied the excitement and newness of rock and roll music that was sweeping the nation and the globe. Even today, All Shook Up is instantly recognizable and incredibly catchy. It's been covered by countless artists, Billy Joel, Paul McCartney, Suzi Quatro among others, and remains a staple of oldies radio. It even inspired a successful Broadway jukebox musical featuring Elvis's music. The song is a pure distillation of early rock and roll joy, and the dizzying feeling of young love. It just makes you feel good. Number 5. Love Me Tender. Let's slow things down again for another iconic ballad, perhaps one of the most tender, pun intended, songs Elvis ever recorded. Love Me Tender, released in 1956, culcate a softer, more romantic side of the burgeoning rock and roll sensation, and became his first million-selling single before it was even officially released, thanks to massive pre-orders. The melody for Love Me Tender is adapted from a Civil War-era folk song called Ora Lee, which was published in 1861. The lyrics were written by Ken Darby, but the songwriting credit was given to his wife, Vera Mattson, and Elvis Presley. This crediting practice, where Elvis received co-writing credit and publishing royalties for songs he recorded but didn't actually write, was common during his career, arranged by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, and his music publisher, Hill and Range. Ken Darby himself acknowledged this arrangement later on. The song was written for Elvis's first movie, originally titled The Reno Brothers, but renamed Love Me Tender after the song's massive success became apparent even before the film's release. Elvis recorded it in August 1956 at 20th Century Fox's Stage 1 in Hollywood, not in a typical recording studio. It features simple instrumentation, primarily Elvis's own acoustic guitar and gentle backing vocals. There's no drums, no electric guitar solos, just pure, heartfelt singing. Elvis first performed Love Me Tender on The Ed Sullivan Show on September 9, 1956. This was his first appearance on the hugely popular variety show. An estimated 60 million people tuned in, about 82% of the television audience at the time. The reaction was instantaneous and overwhelming. RCA Records reportedly received over 1 million advance orders for the single following the broadcast, making it a certified gold record before it even hit stores. Can you imagine that kind of frenzy today? The lyrics are a straightforward plea for love and devotion. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go, "You have made my life complete, and I love you so." Delivered with Elvis's incredibly warm and sincere baritone voice, the song resonated deeply with listeners, particularly his rapidly growing female fan base. It showed he wasn't just a hip-swiveling rocker. He could also be a sensitive balladeer. When the single was officially released in October 1956, it shot to #1 on the Billboard charts, knocking his own double-sided hit, "Don't Be Cruel," Hound Dog, out of the top spot. It also reached the top 10 on the R&B chart and #3 on the country chart. The song's success was so immense that it dictated the title change of his debut film. "Love Me Tender" became one of Elvis's signature songs. While his later career featured more complex ballads, the simple beauty and heartfelt delivery of "Love Me Tender" secured its place as an all-time classic. It was a crucial song in establishing the breadth of his talent and appeal early in his career. It proved he could conquer hearts with a whisper just as effectively as with a shout. A timeless ballad, pure and simple. Number 4. Don't Be Cruel. Get ready for one of the smoothest, coolest tracks Elvis ever laid down. Don't Be Cruel, released in 1956, is a masterclass in rock and roll, cool blending rhythm and blues influences with Elvis's unique vocal style. It became one half of arguably the most successful double-sided single in history. This iconic hit was penned by the great Otis Blackwell, the same jocker who gave us "All Shook Up" and "Return to Sender." Blackwell actually recorded his own demo version, which had a slightly different feel. He offered it to Elvis's publishers Hill and Range, and they knew it was perfect for the king. Blackwell often said he never actually met Elvis, despite writing some of his biggest hits. Elvis recorded "Don't Be Cruel" on July 2, 1956, at RCA Victor Studios in New York City. This was the day after his famous controversial appearance on The Steve Allen Show, where he sang "Hound Dog" to a basset hound while wearing a tuxedo. Talk about a quick turnaround. The recording session was incredibly productive. They also recorded "Hound Dog" and "Any Way You Want Me" that same day. The band lineup was stellar. Scotty Moore, guitar; Bill Black, bass; Drums Shorty, Long, piano; and the Jordanaires, backing vocals. The recording is notable for its laid-back shuffling rhythm and Elvis's incredibly smooth, almost playful vocal delivery. He incorporates hiccups, slurs, and bends in his voice that adds so much character. The Jordanaires provide those perfect oohs and ahs that complement Elvis's lead. Bill Black's stand-up bass provides a cool, percussive counter rhythm. It took 28 takes to get it just right, showing the dedication to achieving that perfect sound. The lyrics are a simple plea to a lover. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. The singer is asking his baby not to reject him, not to break his heart. It's straightforward, but Elvis's delivery makes it sound effortlessly cool and confident, despite the vulnerability in the words. RCA Records released "Don't Be Cruel" as a single, but they put another powerhouse track, "Hound Dog," on the flip side. Both songs were so popular that Billboard magazine and other charts tracked their performance separately, though they were on the same physical record. This was highly Don't Be Cruel hit pound 1 on the Billboard Top 100 chart and stayed there for an incredible 11 weeks. ELEVE and WEEAKS. It also topped the R&B chart and the country chart. It tied the record at the time for the longest run at pound 1. Combined with the success of Hound Dog, which also hit pound 1 on all 3 charts, though for slightly different durations. This single was an absolute juggernaut, selling millions and dominating the airwaves throughout the summer and fall of 1956. The song became an instant standard. Its smooth groove and Elvis's mythic performance made it a highlight of his live shows and television appearances. It showcased his ability to handle R&B, influenced material with authenticity and style. Don't Be Cruel is often cited as one of the defining recordings of the early rock and roll era, a perfect blend of rhythm, melody, and star power. It's just timelessly cool. Number 3. Hound Dog. Okay, you knew this one was coming? You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Released in 1956, Hound Dog is one of the rawest, most electrifying and controversial recordings of Elvis's career. It's pure rock and roll rebellion distilled into 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Here's a fact that blows people's minds. Hound Dog was not originally an Elvis song. It was written by the dynamic duo Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller, the same guys who wrote Jailhouse Rock specifically for a rhythm and blues singer named Big Mama Thornton. Thornton recorded and released her version in 1953, and it was a significant R&B hit. Her version is slower, bluesier, and has a raw, powerful feel. The lyrics in her context are often interpreted as a woman telling off a no-good man, a hound dog who's sniffing around her door. So how did Elvis end up recording it? He apparently first heard a version of the song performed by Freddie Bell and the Bell Boys in Las Vegas in early 1956. Their version was faster, more comedic, and had slightly different lyrics. Elvis liked their take on it and decided to incorporate it into his own live act. Elvis first performed Hound Dog on national television on The Milton Berle Show on June 5, 1956. His performance was explosive. He sang it fast, hard, and punctuated it with his soon-to-be infamous hip swivels and gyrations. The audience went wild, but the press and conservative critics were outraged, calling it vulgar and suggestive. This performance is often seen as the moment Elvis truly became a national controversy. A few weeks later came the aforementioned performance on The Steve Allen Show, where the producers, trying to tone down his image, had him sing the song to an actual basset hound while wearing formal attire. Elvis was reportedly humiliated but went through with it. Fueled by the controversy and his desire to show people how the song should be done, Elvis went into RCA Studios in New York on July 2, 1956, the day after The Steve Allen Show, and recorded his definitive version. He reportedly demanded take after take, pushing the band, Scotty Moore, Bill Black, DJ Fontana, Shorty Long, the Jordanaires, to capture the raw energy he wanted. Scotty Moore's guitar solo is legendary, sharp, biting, and perfectly capturing the song's aggressive edge. DJ Fontana's drumming is relentless, and Elvis's vocal, it's sneering, powerful, and full of attitude. They nailed it on take 31. Released as the flip side to Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog was an absolute sensation. As mentioned, both sides were massive pound one hits across the board, pop, R&B, and country charts. Hound Dog itself spent 11 weeks at pound 1 on the pop chart, though Billboard initially listed Don't Be Cruel as pound 1 for those weeks. Later analysis often co-credits Hound Dog or shows it topping other charts like bestsellers in stores. It sold millions of copies and became one of the defining anthems of the rock and roll revolution. The song changed the musical landscape. Its raw energy, Elvis's electrifying performance, and the surrounding controversy made it a cultural flashpoint. It represented the excitement, danger, and generational divide that rock and roll embodied. Even today, that opening guitar riff and Elvis's defiant snarl can send shivers down your spine. It's more than a song. It's a piece of history. Number 2. Heartbreak Hotel. Welcome to the place where broken hearts reside. Released in January 1956, Heartbreak Hotel was Elvis Presley's first single on his new label, RCA Victor, and his first million-selling record. It was a sound unlike anything else on the radio. Dark, moody, and haunting. The song's inspiration is chillingly real. It was co-written by May K. Boren-Axton, a high school teacher and publicist who worked with Elvis early on, often called the Queen Mother of Nashville, and Tommy Durden, a Jacksonville-based steel guitar player and jockeret. The idea reportedly came from a newspaper article Durden showed Axton about a man who had committed suicide in a hotel room, leaving behind a note that simply said, "I walk a lonely street." Axton supposedly clicked her fingers and said, "Let's put a Heartbreak Hotel at the end of this lonely street." They wrote the song quickly, aiming for a bluesy, atmospheric feel. Elvis loved it instantly and reportedly claimed, "Hot Dog may play it again." He later received co-writing credit, a common practice arranged by his management. Elvis recorded Heartbreak Hotel on January 10, 1956, at RCA's studio in Nashville. This was his first recording session for RCA after leaving Sun Records. The pressure was on. RCA executives were initially unsure about the song, finding it too morbid and different from the rockabilly sound Elvis was known for at Sun. The recording itself has a unique, cavernous sound. This legendary echo effect wasn't created with fancy studio tricks initially. Producer Steve Scholes wanted to recreate the echo sound of Elvis's Sun records. Engineer Bob Ferris reportedly achieved this by setting up a speaker at one end of the studio's long hallway and a microphone at the other, feeding the sound from the studio out into the hall and back into the recording console. Genius. The musicians on the track were Elvis's core band, Scotty Moore, guitar, Bill Black, bass, and DJ Fontana, drums, plus Chet Atkins on rhythm guitar and Floyd Kramer on piano. Kramer's bluesy piano part is essential to the song's melancholic mood. Bill Black's walking bass line gives it a slinky, almost sinister feel. And Scotty Moore delivers a short, sharp guitar solo. Elvis's vocal performance is stunning. He sounds mature beyond his 21 years, conveying a sense of deep loneliness and despair. His voice echoes and floats through the track, perfectly matching the lyrics about the desolate hotel down at the end of Lonely Street. When RCA released Heartbreak Hotel. Some executives were nervous, but the public reaction was swift and decisive. The song steadily climbed the charts, eventually hitting #1 on the Billboard Top 100, the country chart, and the R&B chart, Elvis's first single to achieve this incredible feat. It stayed at #1 on the Top 100 for 7 weeks and became RCA's first Elvis single to sell over 1 million copies. His early television performances of the song, particularly on the Dorsey Brothers stage show in early 1956, introduced this new, moodier Elvis to America. Dressed sharply, strumming his guitar, he delivered the song with intense focus, captivating the audience with a strange, compelling sound. Heartbreak Hotel marked a major turning point. It proved Elvis wasn't just a regional sensation, but a national phenomenon capable of dominating all major popular music genres simultaneously. It demonstrated his artistic range beyond upbeat rockabilly. Its unique sound and dark theme pushed the boundaries of pop music. It remains one of his most distinctive and enduring recordings, a haunting masterpiece that announced the arrival of a true musical innovator. It's the sound of loneliness made unforgettable by the king. Number 1, Suspicious Minds, and here we are at number 1. If there's one song that defines Elvis's triumphant late-career comeback and captures the raw emotion and power he possessed, it's Suspicious Minds. Released in 1969, this track became his 18th and final #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States during his lifetime. It's a song filled with passion, paranoia, and soaring production. Suspicious Minds was written and originally recorded by Mark James, a talented jockers who also penned hits like Hooked on a Feeling, B.J. Thomas, and Always on My Mind, which Elvis would later cover beautifully. James recorded his version in 1968, but it didn't achieve major success. However, Chips Moman, the legendary producer running American Sound Studio in Memphis, heard potential in the song and thought it would be perfect for Elvis. Elvis was recording at American Sound Studio in early 1969. These sessions were legendary, producing a string of incredible hits in the ghetto, Kentucky Rain, and signaling a powerful return to his Memphis roots and a grittier, more soulful sound after years dominated by movie soundtracks. Moman played James's song for Elvis, and Elvis immediately connected with its theme of mistrust and desperation in a relationship. The recording session for Suspicious Minds was reportedly electric. Chips Moman crafted a stunning production. The song features a complex arrangement with prominent horns, strings, backing, vocals, including female voices, adding a different texture to Elvis's sound, and that unforgettable fade-out, fade-in ending. The core band, known as the Memphis Boys, laid down a powerful groove. Reggie Young's distinctive electric guitar riff opens the song and weaves throughout. The song's structure is unusual, particularly its shifting time signatures between the verse, in 4/4, and the bridge, which feels like 6/8 time, adding to the feeling of unease and emotional turmoil. The lyrics tell the story of a relationship plagued by doubt and jealousy. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. The singer pleads for trust. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, while acknowledging the difficulty of overcoming the ingrained mistrust. Elvis's vocal performance is simply phenomenal. He pours every ounce of emotion into the song, from the pleading verses to the explosive chorus. You can hear the desperation, the passion, the frustration, It's a tour de force performance that ranks among his very best. One of the most talked about features is the song's ending. On the recorded single, the track fades out around the 3:50 mark, as if ending, but then fades back in with even more intensity for a final ad-libbed coda before fading out for good. This fade-out, fade-in was reportedly producer Chip Moman's idea, designed to mirror the song's theme of being unable to escape the situation. Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, apparently disliked it and demanded it be removed, but Moman and RCA stood firm. Good call. It became one of the song's most distinctive features. Released in August 1969, Suspicious Minds climbed the charts and hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in November, ending a 7-year drought of chart toppers for Elvis. It was a massive statement. Elvis was back, not as a nostalgia act, but as a relevant, contemporary artist making powerful music. His live performances of Suspicious Minds during his Las Vegas engagements and tours in the late 60s and 70s were showstoppers. Dressed in his famous jumpsuits, karate kicking, pouring sweat, he delivered the song with incredible energy and passion. These performances, captured in documentaries like Elvis, That's the Way It Is, showed an artist at the peak of his powers, connecting intensely with his audience. The song became the explosive centerpiece of his live shows. Suspicious Minds remains one of Elvis Presley's most beloved and enduring hits. Its powerful combination of heartfelt lyrics, passionate performance, and masterful production makes it a timeless classic. It represents not just a chart success, but a personal and artistic triumph for the king of rock and roll. A true anthem of resilience and complex love.